Welcome to the Marlene Saunders show where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If it's your first time here, subscribe to this channel. We do podcast topics every single week, and I welcome you to each and every one of them. Share this out with somebody that you know on social media, a friend, a family member that would enjoy these topics. I would really appreciate it. So, welcome to the show, everybody. Happy Tuesday to everybody. I hope your week has been awesome so far, and I am definitely ready to get into this topic today. And today's topic is outgrowing relationships. When I thought about this topic about romantic relationships, when you get into a relationship, you never think that it's something that won't work out. There's always a hope for change to happen, for personal growth. I think everybody gets into relationships because they want it to work. They want things to work out. They want to be happy, but unfortunately, there are many times where you get into these relationships and either the person changes or you change. Or I should say, let me first start off by saying that sometimes we get into romantic relationships and we have no business being in a relationship with anybody, because I first have to start out this topic talking about ourselves as individuals, as human beings. Before you get into a relationship with anybody, you have to work on yourself. And that means that you should go into a romantic relationship knowing who you are and not being bitter and angry with past relationships or other people, because there's a big reason to that. When you go into a romantic relationship not knowing who you are, not knowing what you want, having lots of unresolved issues, you bring problems and drama into the relationship. Not really because you want to, but because that's just the way it is. So, unfortunately, sometimes we go into romantic relationships not being whole, not knowing ourselves, still trying to heal from the past one, or with all the drama and the issues from relatives or friends or something, and we bring that into our romantic relationship. We have to first know ourselves. We got to first know what we are about. Hey, the mother and daughter duo, welcome. Good evening to you. Hello, and if you could please hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. Realist one here, got a mod in the house. How are you doing? Welcome. I have to say this, being 100% honest, when you get into romantic relationships, I don't think there's anybody who wants to experience the pain that happens from having a breakup. But a lot of times we get upset that the relationship didn't work out, but that relationship was making us miserable, or the person was not giving us what we needed. Because here's the thing about romantic relationships: if you're not growing in the relationship, if you're not experiencing personal growth, if that person is not aiding in your peace, but actually giving you aggravation, drama, and stress, it's a reason why you need to leave that relationship. Now, we are all about healthy, positive relationships in all aspects, with family, uh, with relatives, with friends, romantic relationship, workplace. We're about healthy relationships in general. So we got to first start off this topic talking about, you know, we outgrow relationships that are romantic For the first reason is because you were never really well suited for each other from the beginning. And when I say you were not well suited, I mean that. There's sometimes we get into these relationships full knowing that a person is a certain way. You see those signs. You could say the writing on the wall, right? And you can tell that the relationship is not going to be a good one. This person does not have their stuff together, or this person is not really what you actually like, but you're trying to make a person fit into a mold, right? And anytime when you're trying to force somebody to be something that they're not, that can only stay, they can only keep up that for a little bit of time. And then eventually that will break. Nobody can be anything other than themselves. And sometimes that means that the person that you are with, those mental illness issues surface, their past that they've been running from surfaces, um, the lies, the drama, the all of the issues that they were having comes into the relationship. So that could be the first reason why the relationship was not going to work, and why that you outgrow the person in the relationship is because they were you weren't well suited for each other. You weren't a good match. Let's acknowledge friends with super channels. How are you doing? Welcome. Thank you for being here. Happy Tuesday to you, and appreciate your support. And to everybody who is here now live or in the replay, if you could please hit the like, subscribe, and share this video out. I really appreciate it. Now, we also have to say, in talking about outgrowing relationships that are romantic, let's just say it. Some of these people, they got some mental illness, right? Let's just be honest, everybody. Come on and say it with me. We've all known some people that were not wrapped too tight, okay? They're not okay mentally. They need to get some, they need to see um, a psychologist. They need to be on some very serious medication. And it's not to make fun of anybody, because mental health issues are real. It's just to show that there are some people that you don't find out really about the issues until you're actually in the relationship with them, and then you find out, like, oh my goodness, who in the world am I dating, or who in the world did I marry? Like, what is really going on? What is really happening? So um that's it's so important for us to acknowledge, like, to see the in real time what's happening when we get in relationships. A lot of times we have blinders on our eyes because we're just going by what we want, right? We want a person to be a certain way. And this goes right into point number two. We outgrow people in relationships because we're trying to change them. We're trying to force them into this mold that they're not. Because listen to me, I tried to do it. No matter how much you try to change somebody in a relationship, they are not going to change. Nobody will change unless they want to change. Let's acknowledge, actually, Aubrey, podcast. Welcome. I appreciate you being here. How are you doing? Thank you so much for your support and the like. Hey, puzzle pieces, how are you doing? Welcome. I appreciate you being here. Yes, yes. Hi, Matthew. How are you doing? Welcome. Yes, friends with super channel. So true. People have to want to change. And that's the thing. Honestly, until you get there in your life, you're not going to get it. No matter how many times people will tell you you can't change somebody. I was convinced. I was 100% convinced that if I tried my best to be nicer, if I was a better cook, if I kept a better home, if I did this, if I did that for them, then that would make them change. Because for me, the more that I felt like the kinder I was, the more loving I was, that it would also make them be kinder and loving to me. And it's just not that way, unfortunately. There are some times in a relationship where we get to our point number three, um, that sometimes in the relationship that they didn't come with the intent to be in a relationship with you. Now that one is a big one. We don't want to admit that part. We don't like to talk about that, but that is something so real that we may have the intention, like we go into a relationship. Now I don't know about the gentleman, but I can just speak for the majority of ladies. Sometimes you meet a person, and you already have bought, you already can visualize yourself. You can see yourself married to this person. You can see, oh, we're gonna have great babies together. Oh my goodness. You're ready. You already see your whole future in this person that you don't even know. So we have to learn that when we get into this relationship, first find out who a person is before we get our heart involved. And and that is definitely a life lesson. We have to learn to stop getting so attached so quickly. You meet somebody and they already know every single thing about you, all your private things. We do have to definitely learn to hold back some of ourselves, hold back some of you, so that once you're in the relationship, then you have something new to share. um I learned a great thing from my father. He always told me that, don't tell somebody something in a relationship that if the relationship ends, they won't know like some deep things. Uh, try your best to not release and relinquish too much of yourself to somebody that you just met. In those beginning stages where you're getting to know somebody, just do that. um, I think uh, relationships break up a lot of times because people don't understand how to be friends. That's a big thing. It's a big thing in relationships. You outgrow the person in the relationship because of the intentions of everything. One person may be going into thinking with marriage in mind. Another person comes into that relationship and it's just lust. So they're just trying to they're just trying to get their back cracked. In other terms, being honest 100%. They're not interested in no long-term thing. They're just having fun. So it's so important to find out like what a person actually wants before you're getting your heart involved, because we get ourselves hurt in relationships, not always because of us, but sometimes it is. Sometimes we start off the relationship already planning your future together, and you don't even know if you all are a good match, or if you blend well together, if you actually want to have a future with this person. Because when you start to get to know somebody, you find out that this person could be a really good friend to me, but it could never be a romantic relationship. And I think that's the thing that a lot of us don't want to admit that to ourselves. We get ourselves all in. You get yourself all in, all the cards on the table, already planning a wedding. You're doing this. You're doing too much, everybody. You're doing too much. You have to slow down a little bit and get to know who this person actually is. Um, Look at their actions before you start getting your heart involved, and even to see, is this somebody that I could actually see a future with after some time has been invested. Okay, I think that's so important to do that. So I just got to say that honestly. And I said, really, what was the important part? I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. I definitely have to also acknowledge that when we get into these relationships, another reason why you could outgrow the relationship is because you're not in the relationship because you want to be in the relationship. You get into a relationship because this person is a transition relationship. That's one thing I learned in therapy. That uh, it's not really a relationship that you wanted to be in, but it's a person that you just were with, just so that you could get over the person that you just left. Basically, a rebound relationship, okay? Just somebody to help you to get through, what you just went through. And it's really not fair to do that to another person if you really don't have an intention um, in being in a relationship with somebody. Sometimes we need to learn to give ourselves a break from actually wanting to be in a relationship. You got to spend some time by yourself, and that's the reason why that relationship will crumble really quickly. You didn't give yourself any time to heal from what just happened to you, or even if it was a few years ago. You have to take the time that you need in order to heal your head and your heart, so that you don't waste another person's time, so that you don't waste your own time as well. So spend some time by yourself when you have a previous breakup, whether it was amicable or not. You still need to find out the reasons why. Why did this relationship not work? Was it me? You have to take, okay, what skin did I put in the game? Okay, like what was mine? Take ownership of the things maybe I need to work on. There's sometimes where we need to lean back all the way, pull all the way back, and just say, I just need some time to get to know me. I need to take some time to heal my past, and to maybe you need to mature a little bit. Maybe you need to learn how to be your own friend. You need to learn how to apologize. You need to work on your communication skills. There's a lot of things that could be, you know, happening for the reason why the previous one broke up. And not all the time it's another person why the relationship ended. Let's be honest, 100%, everybody. Come on, chatters. Sometimes when those relationship ended, it's because of us. Let's be 100% transparent. Okay, let's be 100% transparent that it's not always the person we were with. Sometimes we just were in a good place in our life. We needed, we needed to just be by ourselves. We just needed to heal. We just needed to grow up. We just needed to do something. We needed to work on our finances. We needed to do something, but we just, it just wasn't right. Or maybe it just wasn't the right person. We sometimes allow people to stay in our life longer than we should, just because we don't want to be alone, right? You don't want to be alone. I don't want to break up. You kind of get used to somebody's all their flaws, and just accept it, but you really don't care about the person. You really don't see a life moving forward with this person, but you also just have gotten comfortable in the relationship. So that's not good either. Yes, exactly. The mother and daughter duo. And that's not a good place to be. It's not a good place to be in a relationship with somebody and then that person actually does not care about you um, the way that you deserve to be cared about. I think that everybody deserves to be cared about. Everybody deserves to be loved, to be understood, to get the things that they actually need. Okay, so we have Nexie backstage. Welcome her to the show.
Hey, Marlene. Hi, chat. You knew I had to come to this one.
Welcome to the
um,
show.
yeah, to talk about what you're talking about right now. You're so right, Marlene. Sometimes, but for me, I guess a little bit of my background is necessary for, I guess, what I'm going to say going forward. Um, I was married for a very long time. I got married very young, and we have four wonderful kids together. But as the kids got older, there's things that get on the way, right? A lot of things that get on the way. But as they get older, you start, the emptiness starts letting you see that person for who they are. Because with kids, there's a lot of, give and take, and a lot of times miscommunications, a lot of times no communication. Um, but as they got older, other problems arise from that relationship that I guess sometimes you don't see them. You don't see them. So communication is important in a romantic relationship. But sometimes I have a feeling that sometimes we get married a little too young, which is what I felt.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel that 100% Nexie, and I'm going to come right back to that. I just want to welcome Gio to the show.
Hey,
Hey,
can you hear
Gio.
me?
Hi, Kyo.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, I was enjoying what Nexie was saying.
No, no, I'm going to go back to Nexie, but I wanted to acknowledge that you were here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Nexie, back to you.
Yeah, so I got, married very young. And like I said, we started having kids right away. And but as they get older, the person that you married at the age of 20, right? As 20 years pass on, and that person is no longer there, and neither are you. So a lot of times, I think you lose that connection. And once I started therapy, I started realizing that it was never there to begin with. I don't know if I'm making myself clear. I know it's confusing, but
No,
I'm
no,
sorry if I'm
no,
confusing
it's
you guys.
no.
I got you. I understand. It was never there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was never really there. The person that, that I thought, I had married, I never really had that connection. So as the kids, started getting married and going to college and all of that stuff, we were left alone. And then all of the problems that we had throughout the marriage that were not resolved became the problem again because they were never resolved. And I'm happy to say that, we've been separated for a long time, but we're still good friends because of the children that we share. It's
Yeah.
something that is never going to come back to being a romantic relationship, but we're tolerating each other.
Yeah.
I shouldn't
I
say
I
that.
I, def-
I
I
mean,
definitely I definitely can feel you, Nexie. I definitely can feel you because sometimes when we get into relationship, you get into a relationship at a certain age, but you when you are in a relationship with somebody before you know yourself, and then after years pass and you finally get to know yourself, then everybody says you change. You actually have not changed. you actually are thinking right for the first time in your life.
Yeah.
You know what, I feel that it's very true, because when I, like I said, when I got married, I was so young. I didn't really know, I didn't have a chance to date a lot, you know. So I didn't really know what it is that, somebody should look for. So you get married, you think this is your Prince Charming, and like Marlene said earlier, you start seeing all the kids you're gonna have. And but now that, I'm older, and that I've, worked with my therapist, and I worked on myself, I came to the realization that the connection, like I said, that I thought we had, it was really just the one-sided one, which was from me to him, right? I thought, we were connected somehow, but two different people, totally different people, not even close to anything that I like or he likes. I mean, we're two different people. How we made it work for so long, I don't understand. I really don't.
Yeah. Yeah, there are sometimes that in relationships we force things to happen, but it's just not working, and eventually it kind of breaks off. And I just want to hear what Miss Gio has to say.
Well, I don't have much to say other than, uh, it's when you're young like that. Just okay. So, the first time I got married, I think I was what, 20, maybe 22. And I was just, I was still grieving my mom, was still, pretty much messed up inside. I had no, when I look back on it now, I was like, girl, what was you thinking? I really wasn't thinking. Okay. I think I was trying to find some kind of peace, or someone that make me feel better, you know. And I married this guy, and he was a really nice guy, Frank. I'll never forget him. And we only stayed married about 6 months before I decided, this is not for me, because I had no idea after all the time we dated that he drank a lot, alcohol
Hmm.
and drugs. I did not know that until we actually got married. And I was like, child, I don't know what happened, but whatever I thought it was, lust, love, or whatever, guess what? It left.
Right. No, actually, I think you probably just woke up and matured. I think that's what happened, Gio.
Something, because I was like, oh no. So I remember I told him that I did not want to be in the marriage anymore because it wasn't working, and I did not approve of what he was doing because I wasn't raised that way. Because my father always told us drugs are killers, and he been telling us that since we was 3, 4 years old. So that was kind of embedded in my mind. And so he was not really wanting me to go because he was like, you can't leave, and if you leave, I'm gonna do this. And I got, when he went to work, I got right on the phone, called up my cousins, because if I'd have called my brothers, he'd have been in the ground. I called up my two cousins, and they big and tall, so 1 6 4. And I said, I'm gonna pack my stuff, come over here and get me, because he talking noise over here. And so they came. They knocked on the door. And when he opened the door, his eyes got big. Okay. And my cousin said, we came to get our cousin. She says she wants to leave, and that we don't want you to give her any problems. We're not here to cause you any problem. But if you give her a problem, you will have a problem. Okay. So I went ahead and I just packed my stuff and I left. And I look back on that today, and it really, he was being who he was. You understand what I'm saying, Marlene?
Yeah.
I I married him to get to hoping that he could make me feel better, because I did not want to face the fact that I needed to grieve, that pain was so big that I didn't want to grieve. So sometimes I think about him and I go, if I ever see him again, I'm going to apologize to him. Because I did not know that. I really didn't know until I went to therapy. And I was
Mm-hmm.
she was asking me about different relationships. And that's when I found out. I said, oh, it wasn't even about him. It was me. Like Marlene said, you have to get 100% real with yourself. If you want to get past some things and be a better person, that's what you got to do. You got to get real with yourself. You got to look at yourself and see what part you played in.
So Gio, I hope you don't mind if I ask you a supplement question to this, but do you think that marriage what he was filling a void from when your mother passed? Do you
That's
think
what,
he
yeah.
filled the void?
Did it fill the void?
Yes.
No.
Okay. But you were trying to.
Yes, it filled the void for a little while. I think I would have probably stayed with him for a while because it was filling the void. But when I found out he was doing drugs and alcohol, I was like, it looked like the pain just came right back because he wasn't the one. At least I had enough sense to leave. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he would get a little crazy when he was on the drugs. I'm
Wow.
like,
I'm
I'm
so
not.
sorry that happened to you.
Oh well, in a way, I look at it gave me. I just didn't want to date anybody that did drugs and alcohol. It really made me have a good interview question. Are you on drugs? What about alcohol?
Yes, yes, yes. I co-sign with that because when you go through something, there's some questions that one of the first 10 questions gonna come out my mouth. Do you do this? Do you do this? And do you do that?
Right,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not trying to be no girlfriend, no wife with that because it is just the most. It is something that you just don't be happy in. You cannot. I don't know how people do it, but I don't know. I guess because it wasn't in my family. My mom and dad did not drink, so I wasn't used to that. But anyway. But when
Yes, but
I found out that it wasn't, he was doing what he normally do. I
yeah,
was the one that was using him.
yeah. You just didn't spend enough time with him to get to know who he really was.
Oh, well, yeah, I thought I did. We dated a whole year. I thought that was something. We dated a whole year. Should have dated longer than that. But I didn't know. I was only 22, coming off of a hurt, still hurt. I mean, today I look back on it, like I said, if I ever see Frank again, I am going to apologize to him. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was.
It's all good.
Let me just hold on for a sec. I'm on a mute.
Okay, Gio. Yeah, so I just have to say that it's so important for us to realize, ourselves and be accountable for those things. And I can say for myself, my ego, that ego thing is something else because you can find out things about people and people will warn you about somebody, but you just don't want to believe it because you're listening to what that person is telling you. And also, I can say for myself, the reason why I got into one relationship is because I was trying to escape my present circumstance with my relatives. So they were my escape person, but it was like jumping from the I don't know which one is worse, from the kettle to the
From the
fireplace.
from the
Yeah.
pit to the fire, right?
Mhm. I really, and
Yeah.
I think me leaving was worse. I say, child, it was better at home. Go back home. This is
Y-
crazy.
Yeah, but for me, I have to actually, even though I got married young, and yes, Marlene, same here for me as well. As I was raised just by my father. My siblings and I were raised by my dad, so I came from a loving father home. I didn't have a mom, and it is filling that void a little, but I feel sometimes too that being married that young to someone um, right away, I felt like it protected me from myself. In a way, it's a weird analogy, I know, but I was so young. I was new in this country, right? And so marrying him stopped me from probably being all over the place. Allowed me to mature a little bit better. And even though right now, like I said, we haven't been together in a long time, we have 4 kids that we got out of whatever that was because I don't even know what it was. I felt that I have a problem voicing my likes and dislikes sometimes, and I felt that was a lot of the problems because I wasn't saying what I didn't like. I wasn't voicing that, that I don't like that, or yeah, I do like this, or oh, you hurt my feelings in this matter. So I had a lot to do with it as well. It wasn't just all him. That's something that I would be a hypocrite if I don't accept that I have blame in this too. It wasn't
Mhm.
just him, but at the same time, once everything clears out in your head, you start seeing that that person wasn't for you at all. It was just someone there to, I don't know, like you said, fill a void. That's pretty much how I
Yeah.
felt.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that that happened to you. I will say that sometimes when we get into these relationships, people will see that you're in a vulnerable space, and that's the reason why they choose you because they know that they can manipulate and use you. They know when you're in that space and you have something going on, like they know that you're grieving, or they know that you're you just got out of a bad relationship. So it's so important to pay attention when you're getting to know somebody, like, is the story adding up? Like, are they saying what they are matching up to what they actually are, or is it a game that they're playing with you? And that's one thing that for myself I was not acknowledging, that this person that I was with, they would say that they were okay. For instance, one thing that they said in the beginning, oh, I do this for work. And then when I found out, like, oh, I'm at work, where are you? It was a completely different thing. So it was just like a whole bunch of inconsistencies. And for myself, I would just, oh, maybe he made a mistake. Like, I was always covering up everything that they did, until one day you find out everything that they were telling me was a lie.
Wow.
Yeah, that again, that can happen a lot, and it can create um, a lot of chaos. For me, I can say I'm happy that I had that person for the time that I did. I'm happy that you know I've been a single woman for but 12 or 14 years, and I'm happy with that. And I'm very glad and very lucky that I got my 4 kids out of that. So it's okay. Whatever happened, happened. I already worked on it with my therapist, and I'm living what Marlene says, my best life.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
As you know, that's why I say I'm glad I went and got myself together. Because today I'm much more, even though I was with Philip before he passed away. Uh, Today I think I'm more. I know exactly what it is I want and what I will accept and what I'm not. Well, I know more what I ain't gonna accept.
It's so true. It's so true.
Exactly.
I
We
mean,
now know what we really, really like and what we really, really want out of people, you know,
yes,
in relationships and in general, but especially in a relationship. And so
right.
for me, because I don't see and I haven't been able to find what I really like and want, I'm staying single.
That's how I feel too, Nexie. I'll go back and forth sometimes. But when if I'm really and truly honest with myself, child, single is the best way to go.
Yes, ma'am.
Dibble and dab,
I'm
and you dibble and
yes.
dab, and you say bye, see you later. But single is
No dibble and dabbling here.
You guys are funny. Y'all ain't gonna change my mind. My husband is coming.
Yes, he is. Yes, he
yeah,
is,
your
Marlene.
husband is coming there.
I already pre-ordered him. Yep.
Marlene,
Yes.
and you know, God is he's gonna show up, you know.
Yeah.
And right now, like I said, I'm at this age where I'm at, I like my life. Like, I don't want to be, I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I don't want nobody in my ear. I don't want that, you
Yeah.
know. I want,
But listen, Gio, I'm gonna have all of that because I'm gonna have me a husband that will let me do what I want to do.
okay, okay.
I'm happy. I'm expecting my first grandbaby in 9 days. So I'm happy. I'm single and I don't have to worry about anybody. I'm just gonna be all over the grandbaby and stealing them, like Marlene says.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be stealing her like all the time, and I'm gonna enjoy this new phase of my life.
Yeah,
No complications needed.
me too, because it's fun when you can just do whatever you want to do in your house. You don't have to do nothing if you don't want to, you
Yeah.
know, and you
Hmm.
can go get up and go anytime you want. And I ask myself, are you willing to give all that up?
My best friend is constantly telling me, "No, we have to find you someone next. There's a good man out there," and I always tell her, "I'm sure there is,
Yeah,
but not for
there is.
me."
You know, I believe that there is good men out there. Of course, it is, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just
Uh-oh.
want to do what you want to do, and
Yes.
I want to go places and have fun. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not being with nobody that don't want to do nothing.
Hmm.
But sit at home and watch TV and watch the football games. I like football too, and I like to see them run that touchdown and catch the ball and stuff. Yeah, I sit at home too and watch it. But when it's time for us to go somewhere like Paris or Italy or Australia, you finna get your butt up and go too. And if you can't do that, and I'm gonna tell you from Jump Street what I want from you.
Uh-oh. Tell
And if
them,
you
Gio.
can't,
Tell them.
you
I'm
talking about,
listening.
I don't know, that costs a lot of money. I just get you, I just go by you can't be up in my life because I want somebody that want to go. I'm not dead.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to still live my life. I finally got it together, Maxie. You know, I finally love myself. I finally am free from my past.
And that's
I
exactly
want
why.
to
But but
live.
listen, but listen, y'all. I'm gonna have all of that. I'm gonna be able to do what I want to, and then I'm gonna have love too. I'm gonna tell y'all, it's gonna be the best.
Okay, I'm about to revise the order. Please put down that he needs to let her be whatever she wants to be
Yeah,
and go
he gonna
whatever
let
she
me
wants
be
to go.
me, and I'm gonna let him be him.
No,
Yeah,
but
this is why you asked the questions in the beginning, right, Nexie?
mm-hmm.
This is why you date people to see what they really are, and you do not decide what you're gonna do in 2 months. You really need to date that person to see
Mm-hmm.
what you getting. You
Yeah.
know, because sooner or later, true colors come out.
Oh, yes, they
Mm-hmm.
do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they
As
do.
I
When you
always
least
say, the
expect
mask
it.
falls off. The mask falls off, and I'm
Yeah.
telling you, if that mask falls off, I'm gone.
She
And
said,
that's the thing, is
"Oh,
that you have to be very careful on the people, and maybe that's what I don't want to make time for. I don't want to make time for that discovery. I want to enjoy life, just be with my kids, my grandkids, and myself, and enjoy life. I don't want to be like having anyone depending on me. Like,
I think because Marlene, Nexie, and I, we've been there. We didn't had it. Like my last relationship. If Philip was still living, I'd still be with Philip. Okay.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
but because he passed away and stuff, and I didn't kind of got used to being by myself and doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
We've had that. At least I can speak for myself. I've had that, so I do understand that you want a husband. You should
yes,
want one.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
You
But
should.
me
Mm-hmm.
and Nexie, we got a choice here.
I tell people, they're always trying to set me up. I'm like, nope, head down, been there, done that. I ain't going there again.
That's what I'm talking about, right there, Nexie. That part.
Well,
I've been
well,
married.
I'm always gonna be Marlene. So since y'all my friends, I'm never gonna give up on the hope that it may change.
Oh, but Marlene, God got somebody for you. You just got to
Mm-hmm,
just be ready.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
I already know Marlene is ready to go from the job. Marlene's ready to go. Okay,
Uh-oh,
but
Gio. Uh-oh.
Ooh,
yeah, yeah.
uh-uh.
Listen,
And you know
He's
what,
listen.
ignited.
Nexie? But you know what, Nexie? Just because we sitting here saying this, watch.
What? What?
That's my
What?
fear. That's my fear. I'm over here saying and praising the single life
Watch.
pretty soon.
Watch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then next thing you talk about
Marlene,
hopefully
you're coming
invited to
to
a
my
wedding.
wedding. Marlene, you're coming to my wedding. You be the
And I'm
flower
gonna be
girl.
like, wait up, hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah, just because we sit here talking about what we vote and this and that, we don't know what's gonna happen in the future. You might meet that Mr. Right girl, Nexie, where you just
Hmm.
can't deny it. And I might
Hmm.
too. But in the meantime, I'm gonna do Geo. Okay?
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say, when I told my friend, I said, no, no, if I ever do that, I said, I'm gonna have to meet Mr. Right. She said something to me in those lines, but I can't say him here. PG-13.
I already know what you're talking about, and I'm looking for the same thing.
And I'm like, nope, I'm cool. I'm cool. No, 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 we're not going there. So they try to set me up all the time. And I'm like, I'm fine the way I am. I'm okay the
Mm.
way I am. I
Yeah.
get up and go as I please. I don't have to be letting anyone know. I
Just
just,
go do what you want. My sister,
yeah.
you ain't gonna meet anybody because you don't go nowhere. I say, yes, I go places. Maybe I don't want to meet nobody.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, not all the time
We
you want to
have
meet
to.
somebody, but I'm telling you how my one of my friends who is married now, she got married on a miracle, okay? Because this girl don't go nowhere. I'm telling you, she just in the grocery store and met her husband. I was like, see, I knew it was gonna have to be something like that for you because you ain't going nowhere. So
Mhm.
we can't say that it won't happen. You
Yeah,
never
you
know
can't say
where
that.
you gonna meet love. You don't know.
That's true. I agree with you, Marlene, on that. But in the meantime, Geo finna do Geo. Okay, I'm not out here just running around looking, no ma'am. I'm
Uh-uh.
I'm doing me. I'm having a good time. I can stay up late all night long. I don't have to have nobody tapping me on the shoulder and all this crazy stuff. I'm just really just having a nice time. I really am. You know. And here
Geo.
go my sisters. Wait a minute. I met one dude that they want to introduce me to. When I looked at him, I knew something was wrong with him. And I talked to him.
Wait a minute, Gio. Wait a minute. Back up. You said you met somebody you knew something was wrong.
Yeah, because he looked funny.
What? What? He was funny looking.
First of all, he was too short for one thing. I don't do short guys.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna have to put this in another live. We're gonna have to talk about it because this is a real conversation about
But
height
I'm
and
not
stuff.
going to sit up here and tell y'all all my business if that's what you think. That's what you trying to get out of me.
Oh yeah. Listen, I'm Marlene. Marlene gonna get to the bottom of it, okay? Marlene gonna get to the
You can
bottom of
try.
it, all
All
right?
I'm saying is that they already know what I like. Why bring me something y'all know that I'm not gonna be attracted to? I was so
Oh,
mad at them.
thank you. Mm, thank you. That like Gio, my whole family knows. Do not bring nobody around me that got some facial hair. It's not gonna work. Okay? Marlene don't do facial hair. Okay? No.
Hmm.
Come around with a looking like a what you call a mountain man. No. No, that's not gonna work. Nope.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
and
so
then Marley, not to cut you off, but then he was like 15 years younger than me. I said, "Girl, I don't do no Pampers."
oh no, not Pampers.
Yeah, I don't date guys that's younger than me like that. That was a big turnout. That's when I looked at him. He looked like a baby.
Gio, I'm done with you.
Gio, no babies around. Nope.
I'm like,
We're done with the diaper changing.
I'm not trying to train no man, no boy. Been there, done that.
Wait, I already have my kids for that. Nope. We
Oh
can't
my
do this.
child, I'm not trying to do any of that. I want me one that's
See, but
already
Gio,
grown.
but listen, diapers go on two spectrums. You know that, right? Diapers go on two spectrums. You can't be too young and you can't be too old either. Because I
Well,
don't want either. I don't want either. I don't want to change no diapers on either
well,
spectrum.
I'm not trying to date anybody that wear
Marlene,
diapers. If you really want to know for sure.
you is bad.
But what I'm
I is
saying is
bad.
that don't bring me nobody. That's not even. He didn't even talk about. Do you know who I is? I say what?
Gio, you should have said no, but do you know who I is?
I said he can't even talk. I said, is something wrong with
Yeah, something was wrong with him, Gio. That was a boss move to
you? Do
get rid of
you
him
know who
immediately.
I is? So what? That right there, I just say I'm too through. We laughed all the way home. I know that was wrong.
No, but it's it's scary. I have a friend that it's recently divorced, probably the past like 3 to 4 years, and she went out on a date with somebody, and this guy picked a very nice restaurant, but he had already gotten a room for them.
What?
Yes.
What?
Hold on, rewind. No, no,
What she?
reverse,
Wait a minute,
Lexi,
Lexi.
reverse,
What you
reverse,
say?
reverse.
He got he got a very nice restaurant, right, in this hotel, and she came to find out like towards the end of the date that he had already gotten a room for them to spend the night.
What?
Oh, so
So
he
I
was
told
a
her, no
freak. He was
wonder.
a
I
freak,
said
Nick.
I said, you know what, my my economics professor said that there was no such a thing as a free meal.
I
Wait a
can't.
minute. Wait a minute. He was a freak, Nick, huh? Hmm.
He had already got a room. You say?
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
already reserved a room in the because this really nice hotel here that we have, and it has an amazing restaurant in the inside. So she thought they were just gonna go because it's a place that is really hard to get into. You have
Hmm.
to have like months of reservations. Like it's always packed. So she was excited for that when she didn't know that he was a frequent flyer.
Oh,
Ooh, he had up the
ah.
frequent flyer miles, Lexi.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I told her, I was very serious. I said, now it makes sense. I said, my economics teacher said that there's no such a thing as a free meal.
So, somebody say in the chat he was ready for dessert. That was the ladies of ITAP said that.
Yeah, he was ready for dessert. He had already had planned,
And yeah, that's exactly.
Now,
And I
see,
told her,
if
I
that
told
had
her,
happened to me, I would probably turn the table over.
No, you know, Gio, I said to her, you know, because she's like, well, it was a nice place. It takes forever to get reservations. I go, not for him. It's a finger flyer.
Lord. Well,
Ooh,
when I had met that little guy, he was about my height, but
Jill, Jill, why you calling him little guy?
because he
Like
wasn't
he was a
tall.
leprechaun.
Look, like he wasn't tall. Now, okay, let me tell my story. Okay, that little guy, he, you know, I looked at my sister. I said, "Why did you do this?" He was nice looking. I will say that. Okay, but he looked like
Okay.
a baby. And then my sister say, "So and so, this is Gio," and then he gonna say, "But do you know who I is?" I say, "What the?" I just turned around and walked off.
Mm-mm. Better
First
than
of
me,
all, what
Jill.
what does that mean? Do you know who I is? What was he trying to?
First,
I
first
guess
off,
he
he
was.
needed to
He
learn
was.
some grammar. He
I
needed to
guess
learn
he was
about
trying
grammatical
to. Yeah.
structure.
Say did she tell me about him or whatever. But when I went back in there, my sister taught me to go back in there, and I said, okay. We was at a bar, a club like kind of sort. It was fun once I stopped looking at him. But he can dance though, I have to say that he got down. But yeah, but he was like too young, young minded. His conversation was just boring.
Oh, don't listen. I gotta do another stream on talk about horrible dates, but let me just say this, okay? One showed up looked like he just rolled out of a garbage can. Child, I was like, who you think you meeting up with? I done had on my beautiful, I had on a beautiful dress and everything. I got my hair done, nails done, everything. I was like, I did not show up for this. I mean, no. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. I was
Marlene,
like, this can't go any further. I'm sorry. I got to go.
I have to laugh because Realist is in the chat. Talk about Realist say, y'all know who I is. Stop playing.
Realist.
Who?
Oh my god.
What? Do you know who I is? Realist, what is that? What was he trying to say? You talk about we know what it is. Stop playing. I don't know what he was talking about. So, Realist, if you know what that means, please let.
Yes, please teach us because we need to hear from the men, okay? Because
Oh, you know what, Gio? At the
no.
same time, like I criticized my friend. I was like, "Girl, you could have drank the night away. You already had a place to stay." I go,
What?
that kind
No.
man got you a room. She's like, "Are you crazy?"
Oh my God, he was ready, huh?
Listen, the only
Oh
person that
yeah.
was going to stay in that room was me. He would have got that. I would have went in and locked the door. I would say, "Oh, you're so nice. Thank you."
Thank you for my room.
One of the ladies in the chat said I would have told him I wasn't sleepy.
But you know, Gio, the funny thing is that she had been married, for a long time as well. And then she's like, "That's it. I'm never going out on a date again. What is the world coming to?" I said, "I don't know. Free rooms."
Crazy. It's crazy. Now, am I asking too much for somebody to show up on time and not look wrinkly and dirty and you know?
Yeah, well,
I
if
I
they,
feel like now they feel like if they just show up, it's all right. Hmm.
well, I don't know what's wrong with them today, but you can't show up like that to my house, cause I would shut the door and ask you to properly leave. You
Look what
know,
realists talk about. Hey, Shawty, you know who I is, right? Let's get together sometime.
I should have never told y'all that.
Nope.
I'm
That was
never
the
gonna
biggest
forget
mistake.
it, Gio. Thank
Realist
you.
is gonna drag this on.
You know who I is?
Yeah, I don't know. I bet Gio's eyes were as big as saucers. Like, what?
Do you know who I is. Let's get together. Child, look here. I looked at that little boy. I said, ma'am. Y'all know how I am. Okay? Y'all know it was not pretty, right?
Gio, did you go, little boy?
I already know, Gio.
I just look at him.
Gio, did
I
you
have to say, I will give him this. He was very, very cute.
Okay.
I mean, he was like very cute and handsome. He had curly hair. He was kind of light-skinned brother. But right there, I like dark-skinned brothers. So
yeah, you I already know you like your dark chocolate. It's all good.
tall, dark,
Yeah.
fun, baby.
Oh my God. My little ears. Oh my God.
Oh my God, let me stop playing with y'all.
Gio,
But that's the thing.
He gonna bring me that little shouty.
But Gio, sometimes I don't know. Like I said, I don't go on dates or anything like that. You know, I don't, because I don't really want to put myself out there. But with this lady that I'm telling you about, she was so shocked, and she's like, I don't know. Maybe I've been married for too long, but who does that? Who brings you for a meal? You know, in a room all together. I said, well, apparently he does. And it's probably something that he does all the time, and it probably works for him. Otherwise, he wouldn't continue to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Child, I would have told, this is what I would have did. He would have said, oh, yes, and I paid for the room. I would have said, oh, really? Okay, well, I'm going to finish up my dessert, and I'm going to go to the ladies' room. I call me a cab. Sit there.
Oh, Gio, but the best thing is that he actually called the girl that had set him up and said, please just, tell her that I won't be calling her again to lose my number. And my friend
I know
is
that's
like,
she said men are ruthless now.
They
Child,
are.
Even the men that I've met, like in the early 60s or something like that, child, they be talking about half. We gonna pay half. I'm like, not here, baby. I don't pay half.
oh, Gio.
Half?
Gio, listen.
I have a story like
Listen. I'll tell you what happened one time. Now, this brother shows up, right? But before he even got here, I heard him talking all loud. I live in the South, so all country, making and I'm supposed to be meeting up with somebody. And I was like, oh Lord. I said, make that not be me. Please, God, let it not be me. And it was me, okay? And then when they sit down finally and they're talking, I don't like when a person dominates the conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, never let me get in one word. It was just like he talked the whole time. Oh, and I did this, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. So I learned a lesson from that. Never meet on a first date for a meal. Only meet for drinks.
Right, so that you don't have to stay.
Nope.
Remember that dating first date things we did, that collab we did, Marlene?
Yes.
What was the question? Do you own a cat? What was it?
Do you? I don't know. I have to go back and look through that.
Girl, we laughed so hard on that one. Something about the cat. It's a collab that we did, me and Marlene, about first dates.
Oh,
yes,
I have a story
and that one was
about
good.
That. I have a story
let's
about
hear it,
that.
Nexie.
This was before I got married. I had one of my friends, my brother's friend, I guess he liked me, and he asked my brother if he could take me out. So I said yes, and I got all prettied up first, and then he shows up, and I'm ready to go, and then he's like, okay, so you're ready? Yeah, we're going to catch the bus on the other side of the street. Gio, but that's not the worst.
I remember you told me this. I'm still mad. My face just got hot all over again.
So we take
y'all had to wait a minute, back it up. Y'all had to catch the bus.
Yeah, but that's not the best part of the story, Gio. So I'm like, what do you mean? You don't have a card? He's like, oh, no, I don't. I thought your brother told you that. I said, no, he didn't, but that's okay, no problem. So we go over there, and then we get to the restaurant, and he's like, we about to order, and he's like, oh yeah, and I have a buy one and get one free coupon. Do I give it to you? Do I give it to you
Oh,
before I
man.
order? And then the guy looked at him and looked at me, and I was just, I don't know, my face, I think it was super red because I was so embarrassed. He's like, oh, let me check it out. So he gives him the coupon, and then he goes, yeah, you get one, buy one, get one free. So he comes up with the drinks and everything to about $20. And then he turns around, he says, okay, so just give me 10. That will cover your part of the meal.
Oh, you had to pay half?
Yes, I did.
Listen, Nexie, you got a
And
comment from the comment section. Realist wants to know, did he pay your way
no, I had to pay my way, realist.
on the
Child.
bus?
Yes, I had to pay. He
What?
paid his, and oh, and by the way, he went in front of me. There was no waiting for me, opening doors, nothing. He just went in front of me, got on the bus. I paid my trip back and forth, and then when we got there, he presented the coupon. And then he said,
Oh.
oh, okay, so it's about $10 each. So just give me 10. That should cover everything, including tip. And I was like, okay.
Oh
Child,
my God. Listen, Nexie, now what if you didn't bring any money with you?
My dad prepared us for that. My dad always said, don't trust any man. You guys always have to make your own way in the world, make your own money, always carry your own money. It doesn't matter where you go or who you go with. So I
yeah,
always had that thing in my mind,
yeah.
always carry, because don't rely. My father always said that, don't rely on no men, because we're sometimes unreliable and unpredictable. So
True. I
so he
always, yeah, in my first dates when I was, when I was in my 20s, I used to drive. I was like, I'll meet you there. Because if
oh,
I
oh
don't like you, I'm leaving.
no, but you see, that was like my first date. Like I
Right.
said, it was before my husband, so I had not really dated anyone. And then after we were done, because like I said, I don't like confrontations, and normally I don't like, I didn't know how to convey what I didn't like and what I like and dislike, right? So a lot of times I
Mhm.
would just stay quiet. So when we were done, he's like, "Oh, this was a really nice date. Do you want to go anywhere else?" I said, "No." I go, I'm just gonna go home now. He's like, okay, I'll call you next time so we can go out again if it's okay with you. And then I told him, I said, no, it's not okay with me. I go, but thank you for today. And I called my brother and I said, don't you ever set me up again, ever. And
Oh
so
Well,
my
yeah,
God.
yep, that's what happened. And
No,
I
you didn't tell the end of it, Nexie, like you told me.
Marlene,
Tell the end of it. That's the
I'm not
best
see,
going
part.
to.
Marlene be wanting you to tell all your business.
No, I'm not going to,
You
Marlene.
can
Yes.
do all your business on YouTube like that,
No,
Marlene.
no, Marlene, no, Marlene. That it stays like just as that, just as
Okay.
that.
She be
You want to
wanting
tell
the,
it, don't you?
she be wanting the tea.
Hey, I have to try. I have to try. That makes me a good interviewer.
Uh,
Oh, she's interviewing us. Oh my God.
Yeah. Mhm.
No, we're gonna leave it at that. But it was, for me. It was like, okay, and I think, and this is why I wanted to say this, because I think that after I met my husband, so that's in my mind I was probably thinking, oh my God, they're all like this, right? I'm gonna encounter more guys like this one. Let me just get married and that's it. But yep, my brother, man. Oof.
Yeah, you can't trust everybody to who they recommend.
No.
so kind.
Mm-mm. I remember one time my mama recommended somebody. Ooh. Mm. I was like, Mama, how old do you think I am? How old, Mom, how old do you think I am? She recommended somebody in her age group.
What?
Yeah, yeah. When they show up, I was like, show up looking like Leroy. I was like, no. I was like, no, Mom.
Did he say, "Do you know who I is"?
He didn't.
Gee, I should have told my date. Do you know who I
Oh
is? Because
God.
I ain't calling you.
Well, well, anyway, girls, I'm gonna have to get down because I have to get up early in the morning for a live. But I
Yeah.
enjoyed this talk, Marlene. I really did.
But it was fun. I enjoyed it too. I was just about to say I was bringing it to an end, but I was waiting
Oh,
for.
okay. I'll stay for that. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in today. And make sure that you, when whoever it is that you are dating, make sure you get to know a person and make sure that you're not getting yourself involved in a situation that you will regret later. You've tuned into the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. And I thank you all so much for coming today. And I'll see you on the next one.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye,
All
everybody.
right. Thank you, Gio and Nexie.
All right.